Soccer, known to many as the beautiful game. It's definitely the world's game. With governing bodies on 6 continents, played in more than 200 countries, and 250 million players worldwide. With all the love the game receives, there's a brotherhood or sisterhood found in the game amongst most players. But the fans, in Europe especially, have had a history of not showing that same fraternity. In March 2020, England was playing in the Euro 2020 qualifier, a European international tournament in Montenegro. England won the match, but several players thought that victory was just a secondary notion. Danny Rose, who played for Tottenham Hotspur at the time, stated that he couldn't wait for his career to be over so that he could go without the constant abuse of the fans.
I've had enough, he says. At the minute, the way that I program myself, I just think I've got 5 or 6 more years left in football, and I just can't wait to see the back of it. Seeing how things are done in the game at the minute, it's just whatever, isn't it? I just want to get out of it. That's how I feel. I feel I've got 5 or 6 more years left, and I just want to enjoy football as much as I can. There is so much politics and whatever in football, and I just can't wait to see the back of it.
The abuse in Montenegro was no doubt horrible, but it has even appeared on the home pitches as well. Some of the biggest clubs in England, Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, and even Rose's own former home, Tottenham Hotspur, have been investigated for racial abuse by their fans. In 2020 alone, there were no less than 30 incidents in which UEFA, the European governing body, investigated incidents involving racial abuse by fans. Some were social media attacks on players, some were racial slurs levied on opposing players, and some were fans singing or chanting racist tropes as part of the game.
It's sad because we're here again having this conversation, and the courage of players that are survivors, honestly survivors of incredible abuse that is inexcusable. Their courage in the middle of their careers, at the start of their careers, to come forward and speak about it is why we're talking about it. It's been here. Racism in the sport has been there for a while, and if it's growing, the issue of consequence is now in our focus because of these players bringing it to the attention of the world.
Other than just Rose, many footballers from marginalized communities have voiced their displeasure for the EPL, UEFA, and FIFA as a whole. Many have shown the same mind state as Rose and let the world know that they feel that the game they love doesn't seem to love them back.
The idea that players would fall out of love with the beautiful game, a game that has done so much for so many, and they worked so hard to get to the point they're at in their career, and they're falling out of love because of the abuse they're taking because of their skin color.
But if the league authorities won't do anything, then the guys with the most sway over the fans will. The managers.
Danny Rose has not to do that. So next Tuesday, if I see him, I will tell him. So the best way to fight, combat this kind of terrible situation is fighting, being there every day. So, and of course, because he's an extraordinary football player.
Never consider that option because I don't really. I still believe, and I believe that nobody can give up. Nobody can give the back to this situation. So we have to face it front and say there's no space for racism in football and in life, something that we can understand. So each and every one of us, not only those that are abused and confronted those situations, can look the way around. We have to face it. It's not a situation only in football, it's in life, and we have to give a good fight on it, and giving up is no option.
All I can say is I think at the moment the authorities are probably as aware as ever they have been of this problem. I think it's very good that people like Danny and Raheem are speaking out and making it perfectly clear to everybody. Romelu Lukaku came out strongly the other day. I think it's good that these powerful voices that people should be listening to, because these are big players for the fans of football clubs all over the world, and they're saying the right things, and I think the authorities will listen.
The English Premier League and its players and managers want you to know that they say no to racism.